Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to another episode of my weekly playlist. It's Friday, which means it's time for me to let you guys know about the games I've been playing during the week. I'll let you guys know if I think you guys should check them out or not, what my thoughts and opinions are on them. Of course, I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on the games I share with you today, as well as I want to hear about the games you are playing, as you guys give me great ideas and new games to check out, and I do appreciate everybody that shares the games they're playing with me each week. You guys have piqued my interest in a lot of titles. And if you guys have a suggestion on a game you think I might enjoy, let me know, as I'm always looking for new games to play and experience that I might have missed out or I never got to. So this week I've got one game to share with you guys, and it's for Xbox One. It's the one I've continued playing since last week. I've wanted to put more time into gaming, but unfortunately I've been putting in a lot of overtime at work, and we've just been really busy there. So I've been able to game here and there when I can. And the game we're talking about today is Alan Wake, the remastered version. So this is the remastered version of the old Xbox 360 exclusive title. This is a wonderful horror game. Let's take a look at Alan Wake. Alright, we're going to take our final look today at Alan Wake, the remastered version, which this is a fantastic remastered version of the original Xbox 360 exclusive version of Alan Wake. It was really awesome that they decided to release this on other consoles, because you can get this now on PlayStation 4, the PC, and the Nintendo Switch. Now, I would recommend staying away from the Nintendo Switch version, as I've heard nothing but problems with that version, as it has poor graphics, tons of graphical and audio glitches and crashing and stuff. So I would stick with the Xbox One or PlayStation 4 PC versions of this game, because they really did improve the lighting, the visuals, everything got a nice upgrade. The game looks fantastic on my 4K TV. And if you play it on the Xbox Series or PlayStation 5, it gets an even better graphical boost to the game. Really fantastic game. I had a lot of fun. Now, I've beat the Xbox 360 version 3 times, and I beat this remastered version last year in October when it came out. But this time I decided I wanted to beat it on the Nightmare difficulty like I did the 360 version. That's what I've been working on. And another thing I really like about this remastered version is it comes bundled with the 2 DLC expansion packs that take place after the main story, which is awesome. They also are going to be releasing an Alan Wake 2, which I can't wait for that. And there is a spin-off game, Alan Wake American Nightmare, that was an Xbox 360 exclusive, that's also worth playing. I really wish they would have had that in this version. What I like too about the game is they do have it broke up into episodes, and there are 6 episodes total. I'm currently on the final episode, and I've been having a lot of fun playing this, as I love horror games, and we're just less than a week away. We're just a few days away from Halloween, so it's a perfect time to play horror games, and I really like this one. So the basic story of this game is you play as Alan Wake, who is a writer, and he goes to the town of Bright Falls with his wife, Alice, to get away from New York City, as he's been having trouble the last few years with writing, and so he just wanted to get away to recharge his mind, and hopefully he could get back into writing. Well, he ends up waking up into a nightmare where his wife has been kidnapped by this darkness entity, and he has to try to rescue her. And along the way, he finds these manuscript pages that apparently he wrote a story, and the story's actually coming true, and you have to rescue your wife. And so that's where the story takes place. This is a heavily story-focused game, so of course I'm not going to go into any more details on that basic part of the story, because I want you guys to experience it for yourself. But it's a really interesting concept for a game with writing stories. Like, here's a manuscript page you can find, because this game does have a lot of collectibles that you can locate. There's coffee thermoses, manuscript pages, there's TV shows to watch, because there's actually an in-game TV program called Night Springs, which is kind of like the Twilight Zone, which is cool. You can actually sit there and watch these little few-minute episodes on the TVs, different signs and stuff to find, which there is a collectible guide that I will have a link to that I used for this game the first time before I had the strategy guide for it. I would recommend if you're going for 100%. Really good game. Game does mostly take place on foot, but there are sections like this where it takes place in a car, and a majority of the game does take place at night. And the darkness has enemies that they call the Taken, which are humans that are shrouded in darkness. They're completely taken over, they're evil, and they're going to try to kill you. And an interesting thing about these enemies is that they're actually shrouded with a shield of darkness, and Alan actually has to burn the darkness off with light source, whether that's from a flashlight or street lights or the headlights of a car. You have to burn it off before you can then dispatch them using one of his guns that he has. So let's see if we can find an enemy here. There's some enemies there. I'll show you guys a little combat with the car. So you'll see that little meter above there. You hear that red flash like that on that? Means it burned the darkness off, and you can actually kill them, and they just disintegrate when you kill them because they're shadow creatures. Now I will let you guys know though that there are a few manuscript pages that you can only get on the Nightmare difficulty setting, which is the hardest setting in the game. But you have to beat the game at least once in order to unlock the Nightmare difficulty, which I did. And of course, the harder the difficulty setting, the tougher the enemies are, the more shots it takes to bring them down, and the more damage you take. Which overall, for me, Nightmare difficulty was not really that difficult, as I'm pretty good at this game, and it was not really that difficult for me compared to the first time I had played Nightmare difficulty. But that's only from playing the game. You know, this is my 5th time playing through the game between the 360 version and the remastered version. So some people may have a little bit of difficulty when you first play Alan Wake, but once you get to know when to fight and when to run, because sometimes it's better to run to the next light source than it is to sit there and fight everybody.
Based on the signature in the motel register, Agent Nightingale had stayed here, in room number 2.
And I like that there's a variety of weapons. You can get shotguns, you get handguns, you can get rifles and pistols. And then you also have a variety of different flashlights that you can get. You can get a standard flashlight, you can get a high-powered flashlight, you can get a lantern and a high-powered lantern, and of course there's different flashlights that are better than others.
This had obviously been the room where Agent Nightingale had stayed when he hadn't been busy harassing me.
You also have access to flashbangs and flares and flare guns to dispatch the Taken. So I'll show you guys some combat on foot. And of course, with the Taken, there are different types of Taken. Some that are stronger than others. Then there's also bosses, a few bosses in the game that you will have to fight in this. The game also can overtake objects, poltergeist objects, and throw those at you, which you then have to fight with light, and you can't actually kill them with guns. But a really interesting concept for a story, though, with the darkness and light setting and stuff. It's just a really fun game. One that I highly recommend you guys check out and play. I actually really got into playing this game on Monday after work. I came home I started on episode 2, and I played from episode 2 all the way through the end of episode 5. And now, here on a Thursday, I'm resuming to play through episode 6 so I can beat this game here. I wanted to get it beat before the end of the month. I wanted to give you guys a little look here at Alan Wake, and definitely recommend you guys pick up Alan Wake, the remastered version for Xbox One, or the original Xbox 360 version, or get it on the PlayStation consoles. Just steer clear of the Nintendo Switch version since it's not really optimized well and the graphics are not good. And it actually looked worse, people have said, than the 360 version did. So definitely pick up one of the better remastered versions of this game. I think you guys will really enjoy it, especially if you love horror games. And we're in the month of October here, which is a perfect time to play a horror game. Hope you guys enjoyed this look at Alan Wake, the remastered version. Hope you guys enjoyed that look at Alan Wake, the remastered version. This is a fantastic game that I definitely recommend you guys check out, especially if you're a fan of horror games. And I love the unique concept of fighting enemies of darkness with light and guns. It's a really different kind of horror game compared to other horror games where you fight creatures and stuff. Definitely one I think you guys should check out. I did finally beat this yesterday on the Nightmare difficulty, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was really good going through and replaying the story, as I had not played it in over a year, and I had a lot of fun. I actually flew through the game pretty well. I only died a couple of times on the Nightmare difficulty setting, but that is only because I had played the game several times, that I knew what I was doing, and I had a real good grasp of the combat. It's definitely a game that you would want to play through and learn the mechanics, know when to fight, know when to run, and when to conserve ammo and when to use it. But it's a really fun game, has a great story, heavily focused on a story, great voice acting, visuals, graphics, everything about it is wonderful, and I definitely think you guys should check it out. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the Alan Wake Remastered that I shared with you today. Let me know about the games you guys are currently playing, and if you have any games you think I should check out, let me know. I always appreciate any suggestions on new games to check out. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see ya next time.